Yeah, it's just difficult for white to do anythanything because of the strength of these two bishops. Very, very tough, and especially once you play this and force this bishop off the board, I think it becomes really difficult because then you're the only one with the bishop pair, right? And it just so happens that your bishops are really, really good. Um, yeah, a good move, I think. Not the best move according to the computer, but I think it's a great move. After bishop f3, rook f3, I guess e4, and eventually there may be shenanigans up here with this sort of thing, but again, it should be no issue. I love black's position. You have two weak pawns, but you have a lot of dynamic compensation here with these two bishops, with this rook coming here. This bishop doesn't really know where he wants to go. I guess he wants to go to b2. This knight may want to come here. But again, the bishops just bully. I mean, the bishops are really, really good. Knight e4, you're just blocking this pawn. If black was able to somehow get this open in any position, that could have been dangerous. I didn't see this move yet. This is interesting, but you're running into stuff like this now. And the rook, surprisingly enough, does not have many squares. This was a blunder. Interesting. The rook does not have many squares. Yeah. What a turnaround here. So white's gonna win in exchange here. And even more, because you literally cannot do anything. Wow. Great find by Zachariah. Wow. Very nice. And in these end games, that's what's so important here is things like this can happen. In the game, Lucas the God, I was able to convert, and we have 2 more games up now. But yeah, again, rough, very, very rough. You lose a full rook, and now Zachariah is going to convert this. So Liam Shea's playing again. He's playing this interesting line here of the closed Sicilian. Did he take on d4? Yes. Okay. So this is, I think, arbitrarily called the Magnus Carlsen Sicilian, where the queen goes here and comes back. You have this here. I play this a lot. The idea for white is to simply play f3, g4, h4, and kill white's king. What's black's plan? Like in the Najdorf and in other structures. Now, this is inaccurate, but it's only because a6 and b5 are ideas. And now this queen might be in the way. I like Liam's position a lot, a lot, a lot. So in this game comes from, again, this f6 stuff kind of turns me off a little, but okay. h4. So we're getting a position. I mean, this is all that matters, I guess. Takes, and there's just a lot of stuff hanging. The c5 pawn is hanging, and this d5 pawn is hanging. And doesn't look like there's much here. Again, this Magnus Carlsen Sicilian, e5 is common, but it does leave this pawn weak. But again, black's plan is always to play d5. To be fair, I'm pretty sure if f5 and h3 and g4 happen, white should be a lot better. Again, this queen is misplaced, and it's not so obvious why. But the main source of counterplay for black is to play this a6 and b5 stuff, put a rook on c8, and sometimes sacrifice. I like f5 here. He finds the right move. This is good. And the question is, where's white king gonna go? Now, what's interesting is I don't see any immediate way to punish black for the king being in the center right now because he played f5. So this may have been a mistake. But, I mean, h3, g4, g5. I don't see anything wrong with Liam's position. Dark Sage, both of them are probably going to take a lot of time. In my experience in these positions, there's so much calculation. Long castles. Now, this is pretty unorthodox in these positions, but when you look at it, it makes sense. I mean, white's going to have a tough time actually attacking the black king here, and this game's going to be a lot more tame. The issue is this d6 pawn. You know, a lot of the time, maybe this bishop wants to go here, and now this is very weak. But after something like bishop e8, you develop this way, I think black's fine. You're going to play some d5, and it's a game. So definitely probably not what Liam wanted. When you try to play this Magnus Sicilian, you want this very sharp game, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Okay. Back to this game. Wow, what has happened here? So, the queens came off, and suddenly it's not so simple. Knight d7 is a tough one. Bishop controls that. So a lot of material was hung, and we end up in our current position here, where this bishop is really weird here. Can white castle? I guess it doesn't matter. King f2. You have to move the bishop, and these are the type of positions I personally struggle in a lot, where there's just it's these end games where everything's hanging and a lot of weak squares. So I'll try to do my best to commentate, but this is going to be okay. Well, yeah, and stuff happens. Stuff happens. Back to Shamlay. So queen d5. I'm assuming, yeah, knight take on d5. Now, this knight d5 move is generally common whenever black is castled short, and it is because if generally when you think about it, like let's just imagine uh, black's king is here, this rook is on c8. Generally, there's a lot of pressure on this knight with maybe this bishop hitting this knight, this queen coming here hitting this knight. This knight's very, very weak. So you put the knight on d5, trade it off, and you go into some end game where usually the queens come off and you have this pawn here and so on. But knight d5 here, I'm not so sure about because I'm not sure if this is, any significant outpost for white. Sure, this pawn is weak, but again, like I said earlier, these bishops come here. I see no problems for white. Practically, is it difficult to play? Probably. Uh, but it's not so clear. Like when you look for some knockout like blow for white, I just don't see one. It's important, like not to move this knight or something, because I guess there's this, but it sort of feels like black's position is passive. But I don't see anything wrong here. As white though, you do want to press, and I think maybe a way to press is with a4. But again, moves. I mean, both kings are castled on the same side, and if you're crazy like me and push your king's pawns, I mean, anything can happen. So very interesting position. I would prefer black. I think. I don't know. This looks like a weakness, but so is this. So is this. Bishop e2 looks a little passive to me. I guess you don't want to intrude on this file, and maybe you saw something wrong with bishop b5, but I'm not sure. And again, this bishop, I know this pawn's weak, but it is not good. This b2 bishop is not good. Interesting. Back to this game. You never know what's going to happen, but this game's over. Okay. Right now, the only game going on is this one. King b1, just a normal, nice move to play. Now, I was going to mention this move. I really do like this move, and I think this is a very high level move. And the only reason I know this move is good is because I've played this position so much. And this rook, usually when the king is castled this way, this rook is here because this pawn is the weakness, especially with no knight there. I really applaud this move. Taking it off of the defense of the d6 pawn to have this brick here. It looks like you sort of short castled, but long castled. I mean, I like black's position. I think honestly, you play f6. If there was some way to get this bishop here, and this looks like a crazy move, right? But here, I mean, rook here and here, I don't know. Wow. So knight d5. Yeah, we have a few new games. Knight d5. Knight d5 takes. You have to be careful here. Wow, this is complicated. We just can't leave this game. This has. Okay, so he didn't play bishop e3, which I think d6 or something, queen c7 also. Wow, amazing, amazing. Yeah, there are lots of back rank problems. Interesting. So these little tactical flourishes, they happen. Liam Shea got out of it. Interesting. Looking at Kai Saxe's game, he always plays these interesting openings. Apparently, he is up a piece though, and it says Zachariah has been playing these e3 things. Looks like a very standard position here, though. Yeah, wonderful ideas here. It takes. Wow, this is just great. I mean, queen c7, hitting this, hitting the queen. I can't take queen b2. I don't know. Very interesting little idea here. Very cool. Still not over. I mean, you get the rook. Some weak dark squares, though. I feel like Liam will find some way to consolidate this. Maybe this. You were threatening to trade queens. I suppose. Bishop c3 is sort of a threat now. But I don't see any direct win for black. I mean, you can even try. What can you try? Bishop g4, a very good move. This is a very good move. You're hitting the rook. You're forcing it to make a decision. It's very. I mean, there's no back rank. Well, there is back rank stuff because you have this rook here as well. But so, very nice move, forcing complete passivity from the black position. I mean, yeah, this looked like maybe the only move. And I'm pretty sure that White's going to be able to consolidate this. I think also just this move is possible. Even if this happens, I mean, you're weakening yourself more than anything. Very interesting game here from Streamlight. This will be one that we'll have to make some content out of maybe. That was a nice little idea here, a lot of tactical flourish. But he's going to get this one done, I'm pretty sure. Back to Zachariah's game. Oh, and we have something crazy going on. Okay, so both sides developed. Zach played his knight to g5, which, okay. Knight b6, bishop d3, okay. Okay, this happened. Knight takes. Now, not so sure about that. I think maybe bishop takes was just a bit more clean. Because now, once you take here, you're threatening this, you're threatening this. This knight actually becomes an issue, and whenever these pieces are in peril, so is this knight. Left takes, and g6. Mike's gonna try to get this knight back, and Zach's gonna possibly be in a little bit of trouble here. Anyway, let's go to the current position. He takes the rook, queen f8. The dark squares are controlled, and Zach is pretty much up a clean exchange. I think there's fight here, though. I mean, the computer says, okay, this is not great, but well, I suppose if that were true, I could maybe come up with some moves for black. Maybe knight d7, knight f6. Also, this is an idea. I mean, bishop d7, go here. I mean, this is something. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There's fight in this position. Also, bishop d6 and g5. Yeah. H2 is weak. 92, I think, is a very good move. I mean, you want to transfer the knight here. This pawn is weak. My board. Okay, let's do this. Okay, well, looks like Lucas is playing for this. Unfortunately, I'm not getting. Not getting the game I want, which is this Liam game, which is unfortunate, but we can go look back at it. Kai Saxey's going to get the win. And I mean, suddenly this is this is counterplay for sure, especially with f5 coming even maybe, and it's not so sure. I think a smart idea would be something like bishop here and back, maybe even h4. Yeah, h4 looks like it even traps the bishop here, so pretty sure Zach's gonna find this. Yeah, this is good. This is good. I think h4 just wins the game. Okay, Zach's allowing some pieces in. This is concerning. But alas, queen g2, and I don't see anything. You're going to play h3. And I really wish I was getting some of these live moves from this game, but it's fine. Yeah, queen g2 has played a very nice move. The knight goes to e5. But honestly, I mean, this is a move. This is a move. This is probably a move. Queen here, so playing actively. Zachariah, a very active player. Yeah, this does not look right. Yeah. So, looks like Zachariah is going to pick up even more material here after this, and he's going to win this game. Okay. Looks like Liam's going to win this game, unfortunately, even though I can't see it. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Okay. And Zachariah is going to get this one, and Kai Saxi's also going to get this one. So the standings right now is Zachariah and Liam Shea both have 3 wins. Zachariah's on 3 out of 3. Shimley on 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. I don't remember him losing a game. Maybe this is incorrect. Oh, yes, he abandoned his game against Zachariah. So essentially, they're both on 3 out of 3. And looks like playing well. They're playing very, very well. So we'll wait until we get some new games. Looks like we have Dark Sage versus Zachariah, and we have Liam Shea versus Lucas the God. So standard position here. Nothing to really bark at yet. Wow, this is a weird one. Ah, I see. Zachariah is employing my new repertoire. Knight of 6 in the Alpen. E6, I don't know about. Usually the move is D6 to chip away at this center. But okay. So we're getting a position. Black probably has to take. And honestly, Black's gotten what they this is an idea too. Very, very sharp from Zachariah. Very sharp. Okay, back to this game. I'm suspicious of this. I do not see why bishop takes h6 was not played. This looks dangerous. Liam should well, you know, it happens to all of us sometimes. Happens to all of us. Now, bishop h6 is really good. And of course, Liam now immediately snaps off the piece. He's going to play this. And this game looks like it's going very quick. Liam playing very good chess, very precise. He's a very precise player. And, you know, he has some attacking spirit as well. Let's close out of this one and let's go back to Zachariah's game, and we're already getting relatively complicated. So Zachariah relieves all of the tension in the position. And the key here is, I mean, is bishop d5 a thing? Because if you can trade everything off and get this structure, you can't be too upset. Yeah, so he plays knight e7, wants to maybe go knight g6 or knight f5. This makes sense. Zachariah also playing very good chess. Very, very good chess. I like his choice of opening, especially. Sometimes in this opening, you want to play f6 to break open. And he probably should have played d6 way earlier. After castles, though, now f6 becomes really thematic. If the queen was on c7, something like d5 becomes thematic. Right now, there's, unfortunately, the forced en passant. And we also have games Liam Shea, and so he won that game pretty quickly. It makes sense though. I mean, there were pawns here. I mean, what do you do? So Kai Saxey starts with f4, f4, and Shiam goes back with his e6 b6 stuff. Levy Rosman special. You know, I saw Liam play this Magnus Sicilian, and he played the Caro Khan, and he played e6 b6, which you didn't know is one of my specialized courses. No sponsors though. I think he watches some Levy Rosman. I think he does. But don't we all? So Queen E1, very common. He's sort of playing a reverse Dutch, a reversed I forget what this one's called. This is called the classical Dutch, I think. And he's gonna try to bring the queen over. E4 maybe a bit too ambitious, but we're gonna get a big fight in this game. But let's make sure we keep updated with this one because this one's very complicated as well. Especially, I mean, these star squares are so weak. This is why it's so critical very early on not to play e6 before you break the structure. Because I've lost many games in classical in the Smith Mora where if you play e6 too early, and this isn't a Smith Mora, but white gets this, and it gets really tough to do anything. And I'd be concerned here if I was Zachariah. I mean, it's not so simple what to do. I mean, this knight wants to come to c5 into e4. I like white's position. Okay, he finally plays d6. Peter doesn't love it, though. Peter does not love it. Bishop b1, great move. Very, very good move. Very common in these structures with the pawn on e6. Put the bishop on bb1, this queen on d3. You see it a lot in the Tarrasch of the French. And specifically because, I mean, this is a cannonball. And without any knight on f6 because of this e5 pawn always being there for so long, it becomes really, really powerful to come up with some idea like this, which might take a few tempos, but is very, very nice. And white's position is great. The c5 pawn is really, or the c5 square is really weak. The rook has this great file. g4, an amazing move. You're hitting this. You can't allow a mate. And I do not see exactly what is... Why is white not completely winning is the question. This knight d4? Oh, you just take. I'm not sure. It looks like Dark Sage is going to win this one. A big turnaround, and it all came from this massive space advantage. This nice, very mature, rich maneuver. This should be one. Very nice play from Dark Sage. Very nice play. In this game, again, it looks like the material was won. Now, what I do know is that in this e6, b6 structure, sometimes you can play this c6 move, killing the bishop. You don't want to trade the bishop off. And knight f6 hanging the pawn. This is starting to look gross. Queen e8, though, a nice defensive move. Bishop d2, nice here. He trades into the endgame that where he's down a pawn. His bishop's very weak, or very passive. Not so sure how this rook's going to get into the game. White looks completely winning to me. Not simple at all, especially considering now that this is an issue. Of course, not yet because of rook e8. Okay, he takes. Okay, let's say he takes. I completely dominate this e-file. This is the type of endgame that the computer can sometimes try to struggle, but even it is saying it's winning. But as a human, it's very, very tough to come up with anything. Just way too tough. Eventually, I'm going to play c4 even. Kind of help this bishop out. This knight is stopping this e7 square. Once I play c4 and beat a rook to e7, I think it's over. Back to Zachariah's game. Apparently, he found some way to save himself. He played et. Oh. Oh, wow. So, nice vision from Zachariah here. Can't take with the queen. Can't do it. Queen needed to cover the king. And suddenly, the weakness of the black king, or the weakness of the white king, becomes prevalent. And now the bishop on b7. Suddenly, Zachariah has somehow completely saved this game. Wow. Queen f4 probably, but man, this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. Wow. Bring the other rook in. I don't care about this pawn too much. I guess I do care about this pawn. Might play like I mean, bishop e4 might just kill the game on the spot. Probably doesn't though. I mean, white's up material. I don't know. Great find by Zachariah to play his queen g6 move instead of trading queens. Very nice. Again, in this game, Liam's got to find some way to stop these rooks from infiltrating. It's going to be very hard to have that happen. So who knows? Okay, queen h5. So the big issue is that the queen can't take here because of the weakness of this knight. And the king being on h1 is not good either. Very rich position. Rook e6. I'm not sure. Rook e6 looks good. This is the type of move that Zachariah makes in his sleep too, so okay. Doesn't have much time. He spent a lot of time. He plays rook a to d8. I think this makes sense too, but again, I mean queen f5. Or no, queen f5 has this trick. Rook c3, great move. Now queen f5 is a big issue. Is there rook g6? I don't think so. I don't think so. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. Now the king is going to be running into some fire here. There's some checks. There's some checks, and this rook is a check. Oh, this is a check too, but what is there here? Oh man, this has suddenly gotten so complex. This is not a move because of this. I assume 91 might hold. Oh, this might hold too. Check. Oh, but there's mate. There's mate. There's mate. Zachariah hung mate. Oh. Well, it happens. Low time. I figure here, I mean, you give a check. Or no. This is very tough there. Very, very tactical game. That'll be one to look back on and review. Dark Sage versus Lucas the God will be starting up. This game, we've suddenly gotten into very interesting endgame where white is up a pawn. Should be winning. But these always take lots of calculation, and Liam is going to bleed some time trying to make sure that he doesn't just lose the game on the spot. Now, the key for white is to not trade too many pawns. Like b4, I don't think would be great. b3, this is good. You're holding every one of these breaks. Okay, black should play something. And again, the issue is if you take and take, you get into this double pawns. But Liam's found a nice way to break the chain, possibly, and this doesn't look good. Now, do not play this, because king takes. But king c6, and I think black can sit around, and the computer agrees. Because these pawns are doubled. They're not that good. And even if you were to try to fix this and go after this, black's king is very nice. The computer doesn't like that move. Yeah, we have a new game here. Lucas the God versus Dark Sage. Looks like we're going to get, again, we're getting a lot of these very rich positions here. But this is the key position here. Liam Shays offered a draw. He's probably the favorite in the entire arena due to his over-the-board strength. This is probably some all to count. This would be a big loss for him if Kai Sachs, he has 3 minutes to calculate this out. So, and in this one, Sozin attack. Right, with bishop c4, the Fischer Sozin attack. Don't call it the Sozin attack because Sozin lost every single game in this line. Fischer was the one who revitalized it. So we call it the Fischer attack. Anyway, here, okay, c4, great move. You're just forcing something here. And either way you take, I'm going to take with the king. Or maybe if you take this way, I take with the pawn. Okay. GM just needs to sit around and wait and see. But where's the win? Where's the win? King c3. Ah. Can't go here because this is hanging. Ah, but can you take? Can you take and try this? No, but the king gets in. Take with the king. Very rich in game here. The computer says plus 0.8, but I'm not sure if this is a winning plus 0.8 or just I'm up a pawn plus 0.8. Seems hard for either side to make progress, yeah, and they make the draw. Maybe a missed opportunity from Kai Saxi there, maybe. And we suddenly get this, rook, the rook, it's gone. Because this, very nice. Very, very nice. Lucas the God, he might be getting on board against, or a point against a very strong player here in Dark Sage. We have Ekthroy versus Kai Saxi coming up. Right now, Xiemlei has 14 points, and there are a couple people with 9 points behind him. But again, Liam should be the favorite here, I think. Queen's Gambit accepted. I like this opening. Zechariah usually goes for this really testing line here with e4. Knight c6, d5, bring the knight around. Bishop f4 here, bishop g3. And we get a game. This is going to be a fight here for sure. h4, wow. He's really playing it like one of these Aliekin or Nimzovich openings. Something I've noticed about this this Kai Saxi guy is he not afraid of any overextensions. Okay, we should probably take and I think pawn there. Probably bishop takes. Queen takes also if you want to get to this end game where maybe this is a weakness. Zach doesn't want an end game. Who do you think he is? This game's going to end up coming to some very interesting position, I'm sure. This rookie e4 move was really nice. A very nice find in a somewhat equal position here. F4, trying to prod at the position. He's trying to play F5, maybe just get some play. He wants to bring the bishop back here. And suddenly, out of nowhere, really out of nowhere, knight goes, but you cannot put your knight there. It looks so good, but you cannot. You take. Queen is mine. Very nice. Very nice tactic. We also have Lucas the God or Xiemlei versus Dark Sage. This is a big, big game. Back to the Ekthor game though. I don't know about this Black King. Really? Oh. Okay. I suppose he forgot about the bishop. That's okay. So this game's gonna give us a chance to go look at this game. So e4, c5. Again. Oh, queen d3 this time. So big difference. With the queen on d3, the plan is maybe to move the knight and play c4. With the queen on d2, the idea is to play here and here. So d3, bishop f4. He loves a lot of these anti-Sicilians. d2, e5. Right, but Dark Sage knows his theory here, apparently. I don't think this is theory. I think queen d3 is specifically to avoid this queen d2 theory. Interesting positions. Interesting positions for sure. This game could easily give Dark Sage a chance to start breaking into the top spots for sure. So ED, you don't want to take with the pawn, isolated pawn, and there's probably some tactics there for sure. Uh, okay, long castle. King is weak. I don't know. Does Liam smell the blood in the water? A3. Nice in between move. Knight C6. Does he smell the blood in the water after long castles? He does. He's gonna try something here. Uh, I'm not a believer in this. Not a believer in this after knight g4. Might be something. Who knows? And looks like Zechariah is gonna win this one. Yeah, so Liam immediately plays this. Well, not immediately. He took a moment with knight g3. I think now once you take and put this rook here, this pawn's gonna have a big issue trying to find a home. And even if you push it, I mean, yeah, rook e1, maybe even alpha zero move like queen e1, keeping this rook here. This here, I would consider queen e1 in a classical game, but I don't think I could ever get myself to play that. If that's a move, I mean, I might just be wrong. Kai Saxi's going to start his game after his loss against Ektor against Lucas the God, who's playing amazing chess, by the way. He is playing amazing chess. He is going, and he keeps playing this little thing. It's very fun. Bishop e2, I do not like. Or what was... Yeah, I mean, you have to smell the blood. You have to smell the blood here. You got to do something. Rook e1. I mean, bishop d3. I don't know. Sure, it's not that bad. d4 comes. The knight doesn't have many squares, but is there anything wrong with playing knight a2? I didn't see anything wrong with it. Queen. Okay, you have to be careful here. This is a threat. Again, not the simplest threat to parry. I don't immediately... I mean, queen e1. Maybe queen e1 was a move. Maybe I'm a genius and queen e1 was a move before. Why? Because this was an idea, obviously. But now after f3 and stuff, I mean... exactly. Queen e1, man. Queen e1. Nasty move. Nasty move. If you would have played it before, then okay, come on. This game, bring the rook to the open file. I'm not super comfortable in a lot of these Dutch positions. Probably why people play them, because people don't know them. I'm guessing after 93 and something that plays c3 and... But I like black's position. It seems like black is definitely equalized. You have this whatever, what is this? Okay, pretty sure Kai Saxi just blundered a pawn. All cool. Oh, we have some action. We have some action for sure. So bishop g3 was played, and bishop a3 was played. And I mean, I can see where this is coming from. I can see where this is coming from. Unfortunately, this was an idea right back at you. Now, if you don't do anything, okay, let's say you sit around and take this knight, I'm pretty sure you're in trouble after d3. I mean, the queen's coming here. You're in trouble. Fortunately, though, bishop h5 check ideas are always there. And now it's going to just be a lot tougher to pull anything off. Though, I mean, the rook is perfectly placed here. Bishop sack, sort of thematic. And d3 looks so good, but you have to be sharp in these positions. You have to calculate very well, and Liam did just that. Saw that this knight was hanging. He's going to save himself here. After something like g3, I don't know, you can probably just take and then... Or no, you can't take. You can probably take, and pretty sure you're safe now. Yeah, you're probably safe. This Kaisaxi game, I hate this queen. This queen kind of sucks, but I guess you're gonna go to a3 and back to c1. Um, yeah. The issue is black has no counterplay on this white king. I mean, these pawns are so horrible. And normally in these structures where you have the bishop like this on g7, you're always looking for some break. e5 looks pretty suspect. c5 probably is some idea. Uh, but white's plans are much simpler. I mean, you bring a rook to c1 and you play c4 and you try to target these pawns. I think white has a very easy game here. Also, bishop e1, bishop h4, bishop here. Can't really do anything about it, or these dark squares are going to be really weak. Computer gives 0.4 though. Okay, but the computer also plays queen e1. I also play queen e1, I guess, but no time to flex right now. Wink. Yeah, bishop h5. Okay, so we get queen a3, bishop h6. Don't understand the move. Maybe you're really trying for g5. This is a move I would play if I was really just sad in my life and I wanted to just put the pawns in front of my king, because that's what I do. Computer says it's plan. I mean, it's the only pawn break that made sense, I suppose. G3 I do not like. G3 I feel like black can. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is getting nice. This is getting to the type of game that I enjoy. Uh Queen C, this is a slow move here. I mean, you're getting opened up. I mean, I'm gonna move the bishop, I'm gonna move the king, and I'm gonna use this file. Yes, you're gonna Queen G4 as well. These are wonderful moves. Now the king F2 idea never works. Very nice. Should be one. He takes immediately. Oh my gosh. Look at the tactics on the board. The pawn's pinned. He's playing these instantly. What do you do? I mean, do you go here? Check. Oh, the rook's hanging. Oh, wow. Wow. Lucas the God at 881 is just crushing everybody. Very nice. So back to this game. It looks like I doubt this is the live position. For some reason, I'm just not getting these sometimes, which sort of sucks. But right now, Shiemle on top. Lucas the God right behind him. Not getting the live position here. Oh, here we go. So it looks like okay, after check and something looks like white should be better. You have the extra piece. However, black has 4 pawns and you have 2, and your king's very bad. I mean, very bad. And I'm not getting the actual game, which sucks so bad. But well, if this happens, then rook e7. So I kind of want to refresh my chess.com, but I'm not sure if that's good for the protection. So oh my gosh. I can't believe this. What happened? Oh. Well, it happens. It's blitz. It happens. Well, that is heartbreaking for Lucas. Very heartbreaking. Okay, I'll do that. I'll just refresh this to make sure that maybe this will help. Okay, so Liam has not played this very well. After taking, I'm assuming that rook here was good, but instead he allows a few pawns to be traded, and this is going to be interesting here. Rook d7. I don't like this move though. Why? I guess you want to defend the pawn, but it doesn't matter. The pawn doesn't matter. I'm here, here, here. There's no way to really get at this pawn. This is gonna be a draw. If if anything, I'd be scared as white here. If anything. So Lucas is about to play Ektroy. But I mean, this is this was a crazy game. This is definitely one that's going to have a lot of mistakes that we can look at. In our post content. Check out our content. It's very good. It's very nice. Sachling does a good job. And oh no. Well, you know, you blunder the rook, and that's what happens. And Chiamle goes on to an even higher lead than he already had. Somebody stop this man, as they would say. Okay. In Lucas's game against Zechariah, obviously, you know, Zechariah is going to play the Najdorf every game. And this b5 move comes. We're in a very, very sharp game. If I was a theoretician here, I would probably go through a bunch of lines. But what I know is that Black's going to try to kill me and White's going to try to kill me. That's what I know because I'm a great chess player. Amazing. Bishop b7, f4. This all looks good. I know e5 probably is a move here. Maybe f5 comes. Maybe knight f5 comes. Okay, let's check out this game as well. I always like to look at Kai Saxi's openings because he just plays whatever and sometimes makes it work. This one looks a little bit like a weird King's Indian thing. I'm not sure. But he ended up a pawn, so this obviously is probably the new meta. All right, so you're up a pawn. Bring the knight back to c6. Oh, or just blunder it. Yes. I don't know what to say. Anyway, we've got some action. After e5, which is what this is why d5 maybe shouldn't be played so early, but b4, here's a little miscalculation. Probably here, knight d1, knight here and here is very, very strong, or even just knight to e2. But instead, you go down this line. Oh, it works though. It worked. Okay, never mind. Maybe I just need to look at the evaluation bar instead of thinking for myself. Okay, so rook f3. You're going to bring the rook over. I am simply 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I am up a piece. I'm going to play queen d2 here. Hit this pawn. Even better, queen e1. Again, queen e1. It's just the greatest move on the chessboard, as we see again. Is there this? Don't do it to him. Takes. Ah, there's no queen. Look at this. Save your queen, though. Save your queen. This definitely is not a move then. This queen saves everything. If this queen was like over here, it's a win instantly, probably. That's chess. Right now, Chiamle sits atop with 16. He plays it. Does it work? Computer says it does. Take, I guess this one. This one. Okay, you know, I'm cheating because I see the evaluation here, but I thought this queen on e7 stopped a lot. And obviously it works, and Lucas the God just calculates better than me. Because something must exist here. If I was Zachariah, I would take it. Yeah. Here and here. I don't... What was the computer's move here? I would like to know that, production, because I don't see how this works. G5. Well, now Zachariah has kind of flubbed it a little, and maybe this is a move, but that was interesting how that was a move. See, I would have never played this move because I see the queen on e7 stops the queen from going to h4. Holy moly. I mean, f5. Okay. Okay. Well, you know, I play queen e1. I don't play f5 here. Anyway, back to the current position, which, of course, like from a practical standpoint, it does look good now because after a few moves, if you don't play precisely, it's very tough. Um, and knight of 6 you can't play because of queen h4 now. Question is, what's the move for black? And it's not so simple to come up with one. Again, f5. Queen f6 is a move. F5 is probably a bit too much. Knight f6, queen h4, Zachariah loses. Come on. Okay, queen g5, so he misses his chance. But now the queen's pinned. I mean, that's something. Rook c7. Oh, but you still have queen h4 no matter what. That is what's hilarious about this position. A nice try by Zach, though, but yeah, you win the queen. And you, if you know Zachariah Carlson, you know he is going to fight on. Oh, okay. Never mind. Thanks, Zach. You know, I thought he had some heart in him. Very good. Okay, so no games. Oh, here we go. We got a few more games. Ekdori versus Kai Saxi, Dark Sage versus Lucas the God, who has been a god lately. I mean, to be completely fair. Let's look at Zachariah's game. D4, C4, G6. We're going to get King's Indian. Play E4. Stop playing E3. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about whether he's going to be a man or a monster. Okay, let's see this other one. Well, pull this up. This one definitely has. We've seen these two play, and we've seen the same sort of position arise. Except now, instead of the bishop coming to g4, we had the knight come to g4, and then give away the bishop. This is preparation. h6. I don't love h6. Basic. Oh, I guess you want to stop this, but yeah, I have no dark square bishop. b4. You're staying on the queen side. Knight d2. Bishop b6. Normal moves here so far. I would try not to take. I would like, I like some imbalance in the position. With this, I mean, I don't know. I guess your claim is that your two knights are much better than this bishop. But honestly, if you're not careful, this can become a problem. Queen e7, both players playing very fast. Lucas the God plays very fast. And he honestly plays very well. I mean, this guy is not 900 rated. This guy is very good. Rook f1. G5. This is what I'm starting to like this guy. I think this is my favorite player. I know I'm not supposed to be biased, but Lucas the God plays in good moves. The Rook f7. I mean, I love the position for black. Computer says okay, but okay, takes. Probably wouldn't have taken there. Now you take with the e pawn. Now e5. E5 and things are difficult. Yeah, specifically because this bishop. So it looks like black has some pull in this game. Let's switch over. So Zachariah is on a lunch break, I guess, or is this the wrong position? Is this the live position? Oh, Zachariah is just thinking about his multiple files of chess-based prep right now. He's thinking about whether he wants to go here, 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 or here, or here. uh, very, very good. Summoning his inner Vishy Anand. Very good. So this position though, yeah, I mean, okay, White's gotten something here with this knight on h5, and he's brought the king to g6. I mean, this Lucas the God guy, I think, has a lot of cojones. I mean, this is just impeccable. Goes back to g7, which is very confusing. Supposing Dark Sage doesn't want to draw here, but I would also be scared of this. I mean, eventually need to bring the knight back, I assume. f4. Queen c4, I don't like. I don't see the point. I think knight d8, right? Knight d8. G4 also works, but I don't think there's anything yet on the F file. I would have maybe not opened up the F file so quickly. Maybe after our knight d2, I guess this is hanging. Ah, there's a lot going on here, but you have to be careful as black because this pawn is definitely a weakness now. And I don't see black's immediate try for like some tactical win. So I may have not tried to open up the position yet. I may have tried to play knight d8 and come around and do that before. Knight d2. Okay, he takes immediately. Lucas the God might be the fastest. I mean, this guy's fast. I mean, he plays quicker than I do, and I'm a fast player, which is a bad thing. Very bad thing. I don't say that as like a good thing. c3. Maybe. c3, c5. Black's position still feels relatively good here. If you want, you can just trade everything off in here and give the pawn back, but I don't know. This is a very rich position here. And that's a blunder. Well, you see it. This is not one of those simple knight forks to see because you like your knight here. You're not necessarily always thinking about this, but you do see a threat. Yeah, okay, good. And Dark Sage is going to get the win. Lucas, I mean, if he played a little bit slower, I'd be a little bit scared of this guy. Not going to lie. Hectoroi? Ah, is he being a good sport and giving the time back? Kai Saxi has given the time back, channeling his inner Magnus Carlsen. This is essentially Magnus versus Vichy, if you really think about it. In these lines where the knight comes here, you generally, I mean, the issue is, yeah, you never played h3. Generally, you want to put the bishop on g4 here, provoke this, come back maybe, but this is hanging. In a lot of those lines, this is not hanging, which is an issue. And this is what's confusing Zachariah, I think. Anyway, we have Lucas the God versus Xiam Lei, which are our two leaders, if I'm correct. Yes, so we have our two leaders playing in this game. A Botvinnik Karls c5, Carol Khan, Bishop g4. Liam loves this stuff. b2, e6, castle. So he's choosing a bit of a calmer way to play this. I'm sure. Again, I'm not too sure about the theory. We'll come back to this whenever this. Yeah, okay. So Zachariah plays Bishop g4, f6. Bishop h4 even. But there are lots of lines here. Bishop h4 is a line, bishop d2 is a line, and bishop c1 is a line. Now, again, they didn't play it super correctly. They included this bishop d3 move, but whenever the bishop's not on d3, like say this bishop just never came here in these lines, the bishop going to each of these squares is a lot different. I prepared this for some international master, and it's here. Let's go bishop g3, and this game's going to end up being very cool. h5, very fun. So the two leaders playing, it looks like, yeah, this is concerning here. Yeah, common idea. This d4 pawn, very, very weak. Looks like Sheem's going to pick it up. Maybe there's a better way to maybe put some pressure, but no matter what, you're going to take on f3. Is king h1 a move? Maybe. Maybe. But instead, you get this, and this looks rough. Yeah. Good move here. King F2, I don't like. You're protecting with the king now. D4, good move. Yeah, Liam is saucing right now. He is saucing. 3 might be even better than bishop b5. And Liam almost threw one position earlier, but he kind of did. But this one's going to be fairly solid, I think, for him. I don't think there's any way this can go wrong. Back to this game that I think is very, very interesting. Zacharias sacks on g5, which I don't think is correct. But to take on h5, queen f6. Okay. The question is d takes or d5. D5 gives this, but what's this knight doing long term? Like I might, like in the game of whoever, bishop b1's an idea, but bishop c2. I would have played d5. Knight d5 didn't occur to me, but might also be good. I guess this is the live position. I probably would have played d5. Think you ever want to take here and let some play on this file, because that's the one thing that black has. He wants to trade queens. Makes sense. If you trade queens, black's probably, I don't know. I mean, there's this. Do you want to play that in game? I think I do. Take here and here. I think I want to play that in game. Doesn't. Goes here. Here. Only logical move, I think, is knight e3. If you take, I'm going to plant the knight here. But is that good? I don't think so. It might be. It might be. Oh, Zechariah has 18 seconds. Oh, uh-oh. Okay, let's see what his decision is. I think the only logical move here... I don't know about this. I don't know where the knight's going to go. One is, does he want this? And after it takes. He wants to check. Ah. Oh, okay. This has suddenly gotten very tactical. You go back. Okay, if I take... What is the computer seeing for white? Computer sees something for black, but now it's starting to look pretty bad. Especially since you traded here, opened the bishop. Now I plant my bishop there and just let it sit. Or I play in the more aggressive way, which Sakurai is known for. And I'm up in exchange. Shiamlei won his game against Lucas the God. Up a pawn. I suppose things fell apart. Now he's playing Dark Sage, and it looks like Zachariah has a very, very nice position here. Against Dark Sage, here are two of our top players. We're going to get another one of these Carlson Sicilians, except somehow the d-pawn's isolated because he took on f4. Doesn't look right to me, but we'll see more action there. But this is where the real action is here. I mean, this is number 3 and 5. A win here for Kai Saxi could mean he's breaking into the Scarlet Chess Super Series. Bishop g6. He takes and takes, but you're letting a knight get to the square. He takes again, takes with the bishop. Maybe this. Bishop c4. Yeah, Zacharias sort of made a mess out of this. Simply because the more things that come off, these two pieces start to coordinate. And especially with these dark square weaknesses, and this pawn's falling, rook here, bishop b5, rook b7. No rook b7, now I play b6. Yeah, I think... I see. He was in check. Rook c4. Rook d1 can't work because of this. And like I've said, these two pieces, whenever pieces come off, they start to coordinate. And if they do, it can get bad. Can't play rook f2. You play here. I go check. Check was probably pretty good. Placing the king a little bit. Everything seems... Yeah, you're going to pick up another pawn. Suddenly you have the two passers. And Zachariah loses on time. That's what happens when you go through your 70 files of World Championship prep the first 2 minutes. So far, standings with about 40 minutes left. We have Xiamlei on 6.5 out of 8 with 19 points. Lucas the God on 6 out of 12 with 14. And Ectoroy with 4 out of 7, 11. Right behind him, though, Dark Sage and Kai Saxi, who could definitely get something done here. Anyway, Xiamlei versus Dark Sage. Dark Sage trying to break into the top 3. Again, all that matters in this tournament is the top 3. If you break into the top 3, you get a shot at being in the Scarlet Chess Super Series. Kai Saxi versus Lucas the God. Very important game. Lucas the God playing very well. And, oh man, already this opening has turned into something. B5 here. E6. Wow. Okay. Well, happens. That happens. Lucas the God, another one. Another one. Payback. Xiamlei. Dark Sage in the first round had his queen pinned. He was king. Payback. These are the anime arcs that we all fall in love with. This is revenge. And this starts to be very interesting for Dark Sage. He takes down the leader. Might break in here. Okay, knight c7. Trying for something, but the queen's lost. It still looks like, don't see any way to do anything. This would have been a cool try, but unfortunately there's a pawn on g7. Oh well, still probably doesn't work because there's a knight here too. Well, but Liam Shea, 1900 over the board player, he might fight. He might fight. He might take. Oh, no, you can't, though. This is check. Unfortunate. This is why you play King B1, kids. This is check. Yes. Dark Sage is on a streak. He breaks Liam's streak. And it looks like he'll be breaking into the top 3, which is unfortunate for Zachariah, which makes these next games of Lucas the God and Ector so important. Especially this one. Looks like Lucas the God's going to win his, though. And it looks like Kai Saxi is trying something. I mean, it's just a rook. It's just a rook. Rooks aren't that good, right? Let's go back here. Yeah, this is... Move the king. I don't see why that's square, but okay. I mean, sure. And yeah. Lucas the God wins his game against Kai Saxi. Probably smart by Kai Saxi to resign and not try to fight on. You need time. You have 35 minutes. I don't know how many games that is. You need to break into the top 3. It's all about timing here. So Ectoroy versus Lucas the God. This is a big game. Lucas the God, probably a lock. Liam Shea, probably a lock. Third place? Who knows? So we're going to get a Nidorf, obviously. If he wouldn't have played a Nidorf, I probably would have left the stream. That's how. F3. So he's trying to go for this thing, probably. Which Zachariah has 40 files of, probably, because he's played this at least 30 times in his life. Knight b3, bishop b7, bishop b3, bishop queen d2, something like this, maybe. White's going to try to play for this big attack. And I don't love this sort of position for Zachariah because I think he wants it to open up, and it's really tough to open this up, I think. Because he likes these open positions where there are fights. Is Xiamlei fighting? Okay. We have a revelation. Bishop takes. Knight takes. And he hung the queen! No. Oh, this was his chance to break into the top 3. And suddenly, Suddenly, this doesn't look good. The rooks are coordinated. The rooks are coming in, and Liam Shea somehow saved this game. Rook d7. This is like when you go to the doctor and they give you a steroid. That's what queen f6 is. It's a steroid. You just injected him with straight adrenaline, and he immediately just fires back. Wonderful play. Wonderful play. I don't see how Dark Sage comes back from this. But again, I mean, I said I don't know how Liam. Well, you know me. I do the same thing. I blunder my queen too right after I'm winning too. So I mean, I can't say anything. Okay, so Kai Saxey starting a game as well. Looks like this is a lot of things are gonna be traded. Looks like a Tartakow or Carol Khan. Usually, we try to play. Yeah, this is fine too. Like, so we're getting word that Zachariah won his game as well, which is very big for him. He's gonna try in the standings to break away from Dark Sage and Kai Saxey here. He's on 13, and the next highest is at 9. So he's 4 games ahead, or 4 points ahead, which is about 2 games. Liam Shea's on a streak. So is Dark Sage, despite this. So is there any fight here? Probably not. There's no way to defend everything, and Liam's gonna get his win. Meanwhile, for some reason, a pawn's on g3, and interesting. Yeah, this game's over. These positions I usually like for white against the Caro-Kann. I like whenever this Tartakower thing is played. It's just fun. King f1 looks reasonable. I'm assuming this pawn's going to fall, though, after something like takes, and queen d4. There's a lot of pressure on this knight. Oh. Okay. It's fair. I mean, and on that note, I'm going to take a break for about 2 minutes because I need to clear my brain after that. Is that okay, production? Okay, cool.
All right, we're back. Now let's see if I can. Yep. So we have the game up here. Looks like I'm playing Dark Sage. Interesting position right here. Let me really quickly take a look at. Let's have on this top with a very interesting Italian 2 knights defense, and then the Scotch Gambit. Knight g4, knight takes d4, knight takes c6, e takes, and white's a pawn down, but has a little bit of an attack at best. Also trying to take a look at the other games. That's the only game going on right now. Dark Sage, Lucas the God. Second and fourth in the standings with Rook e8. Interesting. Queen f3 has been played. Some pressure on the f7 pawn. But here, I would say this is set up for cheap tricks. Knight d4, if the queen leaves the defense of the c2 pawn, knight takes c2, forks the rooks. The question to be asked is the rook actually important? Can we play something else? And okay, and the rook rook takes e4 was completely missed. Both the players' mutual blindness completely missed a full queen being hung. Interesting. And now after queen f8, queen takes f6, rook e8, we have some interesting ideas. And I still believe bishop h6 is a move because after queen e1, bishop f1 is a move. So okay, playing defensively with bishop d2. We have another game up, and let's take a look at this with Shimlia and Kaisaksi. A Caro-Kann exchange variation. And black not choosing where to castle. White with a very dominant knight on e5. And a passive bishop on c1, which very assumably would be placed on either f4 or g5. And Dark Sage actually ended up winning that game with an interesting set of tactics. So let's see how he finished it off after bishop d2, b5, bishop c3, and after king f8, trying to sidestep both the bishops, lasering the king off. Interesting. Let's get back to this game. And here after bishop takes c2, queen c3, bishop a4, b3, bishop b5, a4, there seems to be some problem, and one of them is that the knight ends up really strongly in the middle and now just blundering the queen. And then also an exchange in the process, and that's resignations. Let's take a look at this. This is, let's start d4. And, okay. Interesting. Okay, and black I think is clearly better up here because of this very interesting exchange. There was another piece being dropped by white. So black is up 7 points in material and also has a castled king. So pretty difficult. And I don't know, maybe there's some kind of cheap tricks after like bishop takes e4, threatening this knight to move away and then playing this bishop to d3. But black just chooses the blunt way of going queen c8, queen c1 check, queen takes c1, bishop takes c1, and then bringing both the rooks to the open file. Right. Let's look at the other game. d4, d5, queen's gambit accepted. It was accepted, but then it transposed into declined, very interestingly. And then after knight f6, knight f3, castle king sides, both sides tucking their kings away from the action, and now we'll see some kind of maneuvering, maybe bishop to one of these squares, the rooks coming to one of these lines, pawns being pushed. Yep, there is a main one that has been delivered. Let's take a look at this. Interestingly, that's so interesting. Let's take a look at this here. After takes massive exchanges again. Queens are off the board. We have a rook on b7, a very weak e6 pawn. The c7 pawn is almost falling. The knight on e7 feels a little out of place. And white's rook on f1 is will make its way shortly to the rook on to the b1 square. Now maybe there's an idea. I think it's yes. So bishop takes e6 check, and now the knight on e7 also falls. But I think here after takes, g takes f3, and white is a clean exchange up. That should be easy. Let's go into this. And DMC playing Dark Sage with a Queen's Gambit. Very quickly, let's look at the. I think the top three actually are really close in standings with 27, 8, 14, and 3. I think what the wrong standings up. Let's really look at the standings that we have right now. Okay. What happened here? This was designable already. Look at this. And getting really feisty, bow and arrow with Queen f6. Trying to attack the weak pawn. And we'll probably see some sort of these ideas again from black. Let's go back to this game. We did look at where they had castled already. No, actually, we didn't take a look at this opening. The Grunfeld. Interesting. I'm not sure if e6 is a move here. Maybe getting the bishop out is probably better. One of these squares. It's okay, I think. e6 is still a move. And after bishop f8. This move looks a little awful because you see these dark squares are suddenly very weak. And once one of these knights is placed on e5, you have these really nice ideas of f4 and bringing the queen in. Also the rook. Interesting. And very likely we'll see knight c3 on the board. Not a lot of squares to go to. Maybe there's a whole rerouting option, but I think this is shorter. There's another option to reroute, but I think just this is better. Knight b4. Black trying to exchange, and maybe bishop b1 is a move. Not letting white take, black take that bishop, and this bishop on c8 suddenly seems really awkwardly placed, since even if it gets to like one of these squares, d7 or b7, it's still running into its own pawns. After this, I would probably expect some moves like f4, rook f2, queen e2, and rook cf1. And then maybe something like rooks going here. Let's go back to this position. It's already winning here, but here after exchanges, black dropped a full piece, and suddenly it's almost very unplayable for black. Few reasons actually. This look at these unconnected rooks, which white also has, but white just castles queenside and is really okay. Let's come back to this, and we saw queen f3. I'm not sure the engine likes it very much, but doesn't hate it either. And then after rook c8, black asks the question to white, what exactly is your idea? And where exactly do you want to put your pieces? So knight c6. I don't think an exchange is possible, but maybe h4. I don't know. Okay, so takes, and then it's either bishop or black. Black has three ways to recapture. Okay, takes back with the rook. I would assume h4 h5 is harmless because there's not a lot of venom in that position right now. If there was a bishop here and the queen at the back, I would still like it. But at this point, white plays e4. Only two games going on right now, with the standings at 27, 18, 14, and Ektroy really close by with 13 points. And here after takes, we would probably see or not exchange, but okay. Here's a Zwischenzug, possible maybe some knight f6 check. So knight f6 comes with a check, and if you take back, I take back here. Winning a piece and a queen for two rooks. That's probably possible, but not even two rooks actually, because the king takes back here. So now the question is, what happens to king g7? Because if you take back, I take back here. So to king g7, you have to go knight takes e8, and for king h8, I think you just take back and you claim that you're better. No tactics. So the thing is, this bishop on e8 really hems this rook in, and the rook cannot move to g8 just because the knight on f6 guards that square. But again, exchanging, it's somehow better for white in the long term. And then there's this really nice idea of queen c3 exchanging, if you just want to exchange. But after this, there's a mate threat, so you do want to play something like h3, not hanging the mate. Right, and queen a6 is also a position, like queen a6 also works, so white can actually afford to be greedy just this time, but simply chooses to play a move like g3. And now white enjoys a comfortable position. Let's look at the games. Kazakhstan has made in 4. And after this, after queen g4, dropping the rook, we should see a resignation coming shortly. And resigns. Let's go back. Dark Sage playing Lucas the God. And d3 being played, very interesting. In a4, so clearly in his prep with more time than allotted after black castles. Oh, and Lucas the God has already dropped a piece. But an interesting thing about Lucas the God is that he drops a piece, comes back. He's come back from dropping the queen. So this is just a little setback. I'm pretty sure he's not too worried about it at this point. White, he actually resigned, and as the tournament comes to the last 15 minutes, we're actually seeing a lot of quick games and smart resignations. I think the next one which we expect is Lucas the God playing against Ektroy. Liam Shia, on a 5-game winning streak. Very interesting, 9.5 out of 11. Whopping stuff. And I think my commentator is back in the dugout. So I will let you go. This is Singh signing off to Clint.
And I'm back. I've arrived again. And we're in crunch time. We're in the last 15 minutes, which probably means the last 2, maybe 3 games are going to be played for each player, probably 2, I would say, for each. And the most important thing right now is the standings. Again, with the Scarlet Chess Super Series, the most important thing is this top 3 placement. Xiam Lei, Liam Shea, probably set. Lucas the God, I probably could not see him falling below third. And it all comes down to Kai Saxey, Ekthroy, and Dark Sage, who are all on 11, 13, and the score to beat, which is 16. Very, very important, which is why we'll make sure to tune in to Kai Saxey versus Dark Sage. This is a huge game. If Kai Saxey pulls this off, it starts to look very tumultuous there at around the number 3 spot. So this is a very important game to watch. We have Bishop D3. We have this advanced Karakhan structure with D4 and U5. Black eventually is going to have to castle, yeah, to maybe try to chip away it with F6 or something. Bishop F5, F5, and okay. I mean, this is something. Queen D3. Queen C2 I don't like because you're on the same file as this rook, but oh well. He hasn't eaten Skittles like me. The Skittles, they make you like good moves. Just like the beads. Anyway, Queen D7. You're defending this. Black feels sort of snug here, I think. I'm not sure. This is definitely the most important game, but we can also go look at this game. But this is between our leader and our those players, so not much to look at. See, I would have hung my knights. So anyway, back to this one. Apparently, this was in Alpine Sicilian. I thought it was a Caro. It turns out to be the same thing. 6. 5. White's pieces, both sides' pieces feel very awkward. I think if White would have played this Queen D3 thing, I think things would have felt a little better. This knight on G6 is not actually very well placed. You would love to try to play a 4, but is that reasonable? Maybe. Knight G4. So you're going in. What are you attacking? I don't know, but see, if your queen was on D3, you have this idea too. This is the issue. Okay. We also have Xiam Lei versus Lucas the God, which makes me suspect that possibly Ekthroy will not be playing for a few games, or maybe for the rest of the arena. But Kai Saxey, this is his chance. If Kai Saxey wins this game, and I like Black's position, I actually do. I would prefer Black here. Like computer, you know, says whatever. Here was their knight d4, by the way. Probably rook c1, knight d4 still a thing. Knight d4. What's his idea behind this? Knight d4, queen d3. D5 is weak. Don't go queen d2. Don't go queen d2. If we want entertainment, we actually want queen d2 because we want Kai Saxey to win and make this kind of tied. But I'm biased. Don't go queen d2. Okay, queen a4. Getting nothing. Yeah, e5's not free. But it seems, yeah, I'm very surprised you don't put the queen somewhere where it hits d5. Surprises me. Now the queen hangs, or the knight hangs. You got to fight Kai Saxey. Kai Saxey needs to fight here. This could be the deciding game. So we're going to stick on this one. We could look at our two leaders, Xiam Lei and Lucas the God. It actually looks like Liam Shea might go down here. Yeah. So no more Zachariah games. So it's going to be Kai Saxey who's going to try to beat Dark Sage. This is why we're going to stick on this game. Although we have our two leaders playing, this is very important. If Dark Sage can manage, this would be good. Kai Saxey, though, very, very creative player. He's going to try to drum up some very interesting play here. Rook c8. Okay, just developing the piece. Best move is probably All right, you have to be careful. You can't just be crazy like me and play 92 because maybe E5 is weak. Oh yeah, this is also free. Can't trade queens. You're just losing. This is looking very rough. Queen E7 probably has to be played. Maybe there's E3, maybe there's E6 even. And this looks over. Queen E7 though, you have to play. Queen E7. Maybe Queen B6. Queen B6, Bishop E3 though. Just it's like white's positions. Oh, and he trades queens, and I don't like this decision. Probably nothing to play for here. He might be trying to hold a draw, but this is again not the way to hold a draw. Counterintuitively, right? Okay, so it's going to be Rook D8 looks like an idea, but Rook D8, 97, King F8. Yeah, oh, when the knight's on G6. Ah, oh no, I thought I was cool. In this position, does Rook D8 work? Rook D8, Rook C5. Knight F6. Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, A5 here. Gotta be careful. Don't play this. Don't play this because he is not gonna find Knight F6. This is a move. This looks good, but man, you have this. It's like every sort of source of counterplay that black has. White somehow can something here. This is interesting. Yeah, you have to be careful. Don't go here. Do not go here. Go here. Oh, but there's the. If you go here, I think I might have this. Oh, 97. No. No. 97. This is not an idea, unfortunately. You can try this work. Hitting the knight, I go check. Can't go here, or I'm just obliterating you with the skewer. You have to go here. I'm gonna get this. I'm essentially just gonna take all your pieces, I think. I might even try this. Take and should be over. Doesn't look good. There are tricks. Be careful. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Computer is a little bit sus of this. What's the idea? See, my brain is so out of loop right now. Like these rooks here, something is just throwing me off. I can't calculate right now. What is there? So I think the big issue is not that there's an immediate tactical blow. It's that you cannot not lose this knight. This is the issue. Rook d7. Ah, beautiful, beautiful idea there. If Rook d7 would have been played, actually now threatening to play knight c5, which would simultaneously protect the rook, and the game's a bit more playable. It's probably still a draw, but it's playable. G6, but this can't be good. I mean, knight e3, everything starts to feel a little bit more consolidated. Again, it's not so simple how you, again, Rook d7, great move. Very, very good move. And now the question is, where do you put the bishop? The bishop can't go anywhere. If you had this square, that'd be nice. If you had this square, that'd be nice, but I doubt you do. And now you just trade everything off. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Why didn't he just move the rook? Okay, this suddenly, and Chiam lays one against Lucas the God. Suddenly this is holdable, and with 4 minutes on the clock, anything can happen. If Kai Saxi wins this game and then goes to another game and wins again, Something could happen here. This is big. Now, what Dark Sage should do is play a bunch of moves and just play a bunch of moves. Just a lot. And just get to like 100 moves and waste a bunch of time. Because the more time that's on this clock is the more time that Kai Saxey can maybe pull something off. Yeah, yeah. So you have to finish the game quickly. And I don't even know if the players knows that. So it's rough. King G7. H4. We need Kai Saxey needs something quick here. And he's not gonna get it. Ends up blundering the knight, and that's not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough. And pretty sure, unless there's a commentator's curse, we're gonna have our top 3 players. Shiamlea at number 1, absolutely crushing the field. Lucas the God at number 2, really coming out of nowhere and playing very well in Dark Sage. Now jumping up to number 2, and this will likely be our top 3. I think there's no way that that cannot be our top 3. So let's just look at the last game, just for fun. It's taking everything in me not to join this arena and just play one game, but we won't do that. This game, just for some bragging rights, or Team Lay versus Dark Sage, the number 1 and number 2 players. This game, just for some bragging rights. Team Lay going for a lot of these closed Sicilian long castle positions that Levy likes to play. Probably Queen D2 here. I think I've had this exact position in the Mid America Open 2023 in round 4 against Aiden Huang. Except he didn't play night before, which I believe is a fairly testing move. Because what you're going to do is Queen D2 H5 or A5. It's interesting. Or even Queen A5 or something. I'm not sure. It was a very fun arena. We got a lot of action. A player who came out of nowhere in Lucas the God with a measly rating of, not measly, but 921. I mean, look at this guy. Out of nowhere. Very cool. Very, very cool. Definitely. And I think he's young. I think he's a kid. So very cool to see. Again, yes, this was the idea. A5 here and possibly D5 sacrifice, maybe something like this. But look at these dark squares. This does not look good for Dark Sage. And we'll see if Shiamlea can somehow try to quickly win this. He wants some rating points, maybe. Let's see if he can quickly win it. How can you do it? Okay, you can take. Give a check. King E7. Okay, no. Take with the rook. You have 30 seconds to win. Here we go. 30 seconds to win. Take with the rook. Come on. Come on. Okay, tricky. Tricky. You can't castle. Play F4, F5. Bring the knight out. Bishop D7. Queen C4 and Bishop E7 is kind of just mean. That's like what you do if you're playing a little sibling and you want to make them cry. But looks like this game's going to end. And we're going to wrap up this arena as it finishes. The game aborts. At number 1, we have Liam Shea, who last arena barely missed out on making the top 3. He comes back with a vengeance with 39 points. Amazing. In only 13 games, I think, right? Yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing. Dark Sage, another player from the last arena who has come in, got his revenge. Congrats to him with number 2, a very nice event and a lot of cool games. And Lucas the God, maybe the biggest surprise out of all. Very impressive games. I think a young kid, very, very promising. And with that being said, we have all 6 players who will be in the Scarlet Chess or Scarlet Super Series, which will be Liam Shea, Dark Sage, Lucas the God, Clint Stewart, me, let's go, Shardev Raghav, and Josh Pruitt. So we have all 6 players. Stay tuned and stay in touch with us so that we can make our post and you can see exactly when the qualifier round robin will be, which will eliminate 2 of these players who have qualified. And then this spring, going into the grand final, which is over the board at Arkansas State University. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of action. These matches, these round robin matches will be a lot of fun. We'll have commentary with me, Sachaline, maybe our good friend Zachariah. And just stay tuned. This is a cool production, and someone's going to be winning $500. And that's something to play for sure. So I'm Clint Stewart. Um, Thank you a lot for watching. This was a lot of fun to do. And stay tuned to our Facebook page and in the ACA Discord if you're in that. And watch our YouTube channel. We're probably going to be making a lot of content from these games because there was a lot of content to extract. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you later.